Hello comrades, and welcome to a new video where I report on the general frontline situation. So I have added a lot more geolocations since the last video, and I've removed some of the old news, so I'll just be going through an overview of the whole situation and what is happening. Okay, starting from the left side, the general position of the Russian army is along the borderline, as we have a geolocation to confirm that further up north, but also this fighting that is reported between Alexandrivka and Lupereve, where the Russians have reported to advance through the highway. Further north, we see that the bridge is still under airstrikes, so most likely it will continue until it actually is destroyed. Similarly to the Antonovsky Bridge, it'll take quite a while. Also, I removed the reports from the Antonovsky Bridge since there has been no changes. The bridge is still operational. Other than that, there's actually a lot of news about the supply situation in Kherson. So first of all, the Antonovsky Bridge is operational. Second of all, they're building the pontoon bridge underneath it, meaning that they have a backup if it becomes unoperational again. On top of that, they are still using pontoon ferries, as there has been two geolocated pontoon ferries in the northeast of Kharkiv, of Kherson, I mean. So generally, the supply situation around Kherson is actually really good right now, and as it looks like they have a few fail-safe. They have a few backups to if the Ukrainians ever cut off the supplies again, and generally the situation in Kherson is looking good for the Russians and allies. In the north, there is no guarantees of any of these captures here in the west still, as neither side has provided any evidence of where they hold. But there is fighting reported around Pershanske and Lyubine. Either shelling or actual fighting, I'm not sure. You see, fighting is actually very interesting because it can also include just a tank that is 3-4 kilometers away shooting at the targets, because most tanks that the Russians use actually have a effective range of 1 to 5 kilometers, meaning that they could be fighting from just outside Vuhledar to just outside Pershanske. So generally it's very awkward when I have to map the fightings. I just make it so that it's obvious that there's fighting happening, and it doesn't actually represent what the front line looks like. So yeah, generally fighting at Lyubine doesn't mean that it is under Russian control, as you will see at the map. Generally that the fighting is ongoing somewhere around this area. Further northeast, this is an old report. I should have removed this probably as well. Generally no news here. No news here either, as the situation generally is the same. At Vuhledar, there's no news either. There's been no reports since the initial report that there was fighting ongoing. But considering how big of a village/city it is, it makes sense that there's been no progress in this time. Further northeast, there's no new reports on the fighting here. Generally, there's been no proof of Vuhledar being taken either, so I've put it under question mark for now. Fighting still ongoing, Vadian, Vuhledar, all of these villages in this area. Last report of Marinka was that there was 75% under Russian control. No new reports since then. Same with this whole front line. I changed the front line a bit because there was a Russian tank spotted here, but then again, 3, 4, 5 kilometers, that's where the tanks usually shoot from. Despite the forest lines here, they are able to see what they're shooting at, as they have drones that cooperate with the tank, giving them an overview and telling them where to shoot, as they have someone in the tank or a communications officer calculating the projections and so on, telling them exactly where to shoot at. To the northeast, still no reports. There is the Ukrainian position here, so most likely they're fighting in this area. So generally I would say they're pushing to the west. northwest, and northeast, while still pinning these guys down and fighting them here. So they're fighting in 4 directions. Once they push towards Vuhledar, they'll be able to penetrate them from the north as well, if they take down Arimithke and this military base. But so far they haven't been able to do so. Further north, no new news. Still just fighting ongoing in all of these areas. Kodema has been taken, which I reported on yesterday in my only video. Other than that, the situation has been stable on these other parts. Most likely, what the troops who have taken Kodema is doing is either just clearing out the village, making sure that all of the Ukrainian defenders are gone. And once that has happened, either they take a small operational pause of a couple of days, or they start pushing towards Zaitsev, Arimithke, and Mykolaiivka in a flower maneuver. Further north at Zaitsev and Veselina Dolina, their fighting is still ongoing, at Bakhmut as well. Generally, there's been no news on the fighting up north, nor at Vuhledar, which means that the situation is either really static, or they are clearing the mines, which is taking a long time. Around Yakovlivka, there's been no reports other than below Arimithke being taken and them attacking on every direction since then. Again, the flower maneuver. Further northwest, there has been a geolocation of a pontoon bridge across the Severodonetsk River around the Arimithke, which is most likely indicating that the Russian and allies are sending reinforcements to the front line where they're fighting here in the west. And again, not necessarily what the front line looks like. Most likely they're fighting 3, 4, 5 kilometers away and shooting at these areas. Also, there's been reports that there's significant presence of anti-tank weaponry around Vernopilia as well as Novodimitrivka, as there's a tank division in the Russian tank division in this area. Further northwest, I have consolidated the map to look properly, and as these 2 villages have been reported under Russian control for a couple of weeks now, and there's been no change. Same with the northwest. And Rakove was the geolocated Russian base in this area, so most likely they've just consolidated the position. So what we can see in this area is most likely that they'll continue pushing towards Husarivka and trying to capture this highway, while in the northwest they'll be trying to push towards Chuhuiv, as I think that will be the next target, as that is a very entangled crossroad and a significant city, I would say. So yeah, that is generally the whole frontline update. Other than that, a new microphone, as you can probably hear. Hopefully much better sound quality, and I will try to change the settings as we go to find out what is best and what works and so on. So special shout out to my PayPal donators who have actually donated enough to cover for this microphone, which allowed me to buy it this early. As with PayPal donations, I get the money much faster than through YouTube, and I also get 95% rather than the 30% cut YouTube takes. So generally, thank you very much for the PayPal donators, and thank you everyone who is watching, as I will still be getting the money through AdSense, and just by you guys supporting and watching me, which allows me to grow and continue doing this at spending how many hours I spend on this as we go. So thank you very much everyone for supporting and watching my videos. Have a great day. Thank you very much.